Okay, Bhante, whenever you're ready.
Good morning, everybody. Once again, I want to continue this talk on Kamma. I like to mention what generally whenever uh, people talk about Kamma, as I said at the very beginning, people think all bad things are Kamma, but not good things. But the Kamma means both good and bad. What makes Kamma bad? What makes Kamma good? Kamma, as we mentioned, is the thought, intention, chetana in Pali. If the chetana or thought or intention is affected or influenced or obsessed by greed, hatred, and delusion, with that state, if we think, speak, and act, the Kamma is called unwholesome Kamma, whether it is Punya Kamma or Kusala Kamma. That is why the Buddha said, with the impure state of mind when one speaks or act or think, the result follows that person like the cart that follows the hoofs of the ox that pulls the cart. On the other hand, when the intention or thought or uh, is pure and clean, free from greed, hatred, and delusion, with that state of mind, without greed, hatred, and delusion, if one thinks, speaks, or acts, the results follows that person like his or her own shadow, which one even does not feel because of the lightness of the heart, the mind, free from hatred and greed and illusion. So the conditions that makes the Kamma wholesome or unwholesome depends on the state of mind. We must remember that whenever we talk about Kamma, and whenever we commit Kamma right now, this very moment, just like listening to Dhamma is a good Kamma, and teaching Dhamma is Kamma. So I commit one good Kamma, wholesome Kamma, or you commit another Kamma. My Kamma, if I commit with some ulterior motive, greed, hatred, and delusion, or with the intention of hurting somebody, belittling somebody, attacking somebody, and so forth, if I had that kind of intention in mind, I am committing unwholesome Kamma, even though I teach Dhamma. I have to be very mindful when I teach Dhamma, not to make it unwholesome. Similarly, if you listen to Dhamma, and if you think, this word is attacking so and so has such and such a weakness, and Bhante talk about that person, and so forth, or any greed, any hatred, any delusion, any shade of that you have in your mind, you commit unwholesome Kamma, even though you listen to Dhamma. You see, it is such a tricky thing, and that is why we always have to be very mindful when we commit any thought, word, and deed. And it is called in Pali, Yoniso Manasikara, that is doing things, seeing the root of what we are doing. We do things with knowing the root. If the from the root is the mind, and see if the mind and the thought, intention, if it is if it has greed, hatred, and delusion, those are the roots. Roots of wholesome, roots of unwholesome. We mentioned them several times. I want to repeat it for us to remember very clearly. So, whenever we do anything or listen to something or talk to somebody and think about something or like that, we have to keep this criterion in mind or the rule in mind. Uh, Therefore, this is how karma becomes wholesome or unwholesome. Then, the conditions of making karma are those conditions, uh, intention, and so on. Uh, Suppose somebody, I said unwholesome karma, I mentioned are 10, punya karma, unwholesome, 10 kusala karma, and there has to be 5 conditions to make karma a karma. 5 conditions. If those conditions are not fulfilled, the karma is not uh, produce expected results. For instance, take the first precept, killing, in unwholesome side. Uh, when uh, one has to know, one has to have 5 conditions in killing. Number 1, there has to be a living being, human, animal, and so on. The second, the one who commits it must know that this is a living being. Then there has to be a thought of killing. Then there must be a method of killing. And then use that particular method, the killing must be complete. These are the 5 conditions. These are very important factors to remember. That means, once again, I must repeat, a being, living, breathing being, and knowledge that it is living, breathing being, then the intention or desire or wish to kill. Fourth is the then using a method, a way, a weapon, uh, knife or gun or whatever method, poison or whatever method, and complete the killing using only that method. Then your unwholesome unwholesome karma of killing is complete. Suppose I mentioned this for unwholesome side. Uh, on wholesome side also we can use the same method. For instance, you know that, say I mentioned saving a life. You know that it is a living being, then there has to be a living being, and you have intention to save, you have knowledge that it is living being, then intention to save that living being, then you use a method to save the living being. Using those methods, you save that living being. That is wholesome side. Now let us say unwholesome side, to elaborate unwholesome example. Suppose uh, one of those 5 conditions is not fulfilled, your killing is not complete. For instance, uh, somebody while cleaning land throw a rock, and this rock lands on an animal. You don't know that there was an animal. You didn't have any intention to kill animal, and you did not use the rock to kill the animal, and you think of using that rock, you want to kill animal. But animal would die. When the rock fell on the animal will die. And you are not guilty of killing that animal. You have not committed unwholesome karma of killing. That is on the unwholesome side. I will continue this explanation because these are very important for us to remember in our daily life. Karma is not something that is just a theory put in books or somewhere, but this is something that we commit. And also, in order to demystify karma, I bring up day-to-day lives examples. Uh, with that, we want to start our meditation practice. And also, I want to announce today, before the tomorrow, we are going to have a VESAK celebrations online. Uh, as Brian, my friend, announced yesterday, there will be talks. You can see the schedule online. At 9:30, we start this meditation session, 9:30. And at 10 o'clock, I give a talk. You can see this announcement online. I think we sent it yesterday. It is here. This announcement. Okay.
Yeah, Bhante.
Now let us begin our meditation practice.
They can see this now.
This is the announcement. You can see that.
Okay.
My talk on significance of VESAK and what makes Buddha great in English will be at 10 o'clock. And Bhante Saddaji gives talk, uh, Happy is the Rising of Buddhas at 2 o'clock. Bhante Srilananda talk will be in Sinhalese, Ashcharya, uh, Ashcharyavat Vu Ape Buddhahamudru in Sinhalese. That is miraculous our Buddha. And then at 7 o'clock, Bhante Saddaji will again uh, continue regular meditation and Dhamma talk in English just as every day. And there is a website for all activities. Please join us online using the following link. You can see the link. That will be, that you can see on YouTube.
And you can find all of this information on the Bhavana Society website and YouTube page and also Facebook page.
All right. Now
We'll
let us
see you tomorrow.
Okay. Let us begin our meditation.
Oops.
Okay. May all beings be happy and secure. May all beings have happy minds, whatever living beings there may be, without exception, weak or strong, long, large, medium, short, subtle or gross.
visible or invisible, living near or far, born or coming to birth. May all beings have happy minds. Let no one deceive another, nor despise anyone anywhere. Neither from anger nor ill will should anyone wish harm to another. As a mother would risk her own life to protect her only child, even so towards all living beings, one should cultivate a boundless heart. One should cultivate for all the world a heart of boundless loving friendliness, above, below, and all around, unobstructed, without hate or resentment, whether standing, walking, sitting, lying down, or whenever awake. One should develop this mindfulness. This is called divinely dwelling here, not falling into erroneous views, but virtuous and endowed with vision. Removing desire for sensual pleasures, one comes never again to birth in the womb.
With this very wonderful, noble thought of metta, let us begin our practice. This metta, I think, is a very powerful, wonderful thing that we all together with one mind, one heart, one vision practice. That will have a very powerful impact on everybody in the world. This is our very strong belief, and with this belief, we practice metta. For those, especially in metta practice, there is no selection. All are one. Especially this time, we focus on those who are suffering. In fact, there is none in the world that does not suffer. Everybody suffers. Some suffers more than others. And therefore, metta practice covers all those who have little suffering or much suffering, or even no suffering, which is impossible for somebody not to have. But if there is uh, someone, uh, our metta covers that person as well. This is such a powerful insurance against suffering, mental, physical suffering. With this wonderful intention, let us continue this practice and wish all those who are suffering by losing their loved ones and their supporters and helps, and those who are suffering from the COVID-19 and their supporters and helpers, including doctors, nurses, and people who are assisting in many, many different ways in various countries, and they all with one heart, one mind, one intention come together to help the suffering being. So there are two fronts, one in the physical way, physical sense, other is spiritual. We play the spiritual role and we want to share with them, and they help us to make our task easy. We uh, make their task easy. So we all together with this wonderful wish continue our meditation practice. So now start paying total mindful undivided attention without verbalizing. Pay attention to your breathing. As you breathe in, you notice inhaling and exhaling, and the pause in between and inhaling and exhaling. And then you feel the breath touching your rims of your nostrils, expanding your chest area and contracting, expanding your lower abdominal area as you breathe in. As you breathe out, you notice the breath coming through your nostrils, contracting lower abdomen and chest area, and then we notice them changing. That feeling of the breath as we breathe in is changing as breath goes in. And the feeling that we have when we breathe out also disappears as the breath goes out. And then we become aware of our breathing. We know, we perceive the breath, that is our perception. And we have very sincere intention to pay attention to this pure, clean, universal breath. These all change as we breathe in and out, feeling, perception, intention or attention, and consciousness. They all change. As they change, our mind is not having any space or room for uh, the notions of permanency. We can see them changing all the time. And then as they change, there is nothing to excite, nothing to agitate. They all flow with the same breath. And then our breath becomes calm, relaxed, and peaceful. The body becomes calm, relaxed, and peaceful. Mind becomes calm, relaxed, and peaceful. Then we notice our mind does not try to grab hold on to anything. It lets go of whatever is going. In Anapanasati Sutta, Buddha mentioned, seeing impermanence, we breathe in and out, seeing non-becoming attached to anything, we inhale and exhale. That means mind does not hold on to anything. Mind lets whatever comes, whatever goes, happen. Then that is viraga. Then nirodha. Whatever appears and disappears, it disappears without leaving a trace behind. That is nirodha. Nirodha. Nirodhanupasi asisi swamiti sikkati. Nirodhanupasi pasasi swamisi. Then seeing, abandoning, patinissagga. Seeing abandoning, we breathe in and breathe out. And then arise metta in real way, in purest way, without even verb and thought. It just appears in our mind. Then Kamma follows. When this happens, then we gain degree of joy by seeing the results of our very sincere intentional practice. We see the results by ourselves. This is called Pachattang Veditabbo, the seeing by each and every individual, wise individual within oneself, seeing the results. Joy arises. Then happiness arises. Then we gain concentration. When we gain concentration, we reflect. Concentration, we used to reflect, to see how quickly all these have changed, are changing in us. They are changing so quickly. That is the way we realize the things as they really are, gain knowledge and vision of insight of things as they really are. With this awareness, let us continue our practice.
Dukkha patta ca niddukkha, bhaya patta ca nibbhaya, soka patta ca nissoka, hontu sabbe pipanino. May the suffering be free from suffering. May the fear-struck be free from fear. May the grieving be free from grief. So too may all beings be. This is a very earnest wish, as she mentioned earlier. We want to wish at the beginning, now, even at the end, 3 times each day, each session. We want to repeat this wish. The more we repeat, the stronger will be its benefit and results. And that we do with wonderful attitude, with one voice, one sound, one mind, one intention. We make this wish, we all together. We want to wish all those who are suffering from losing their relatives and those who are suffering from the virus, and we want to wish them to be free from that suffering, and also want to wish the strength, courage, determination, wisdom for those who try to help them in many ways, risking their own life in some situations to help these people, doctors, nurses, hospital attendants, and chemists, those who are trying to find a vaccine for this to stop this disease or to cure this disease from uh, the patients who are affected by disease. They want to cure, they want to find a vaccine to cure them. And they all need our metta. We all want to wish them to be free from pain, suffering, and may they all be successful in finding something, and they all be wise and have a lot of patience, understanding, and determination. With this metta, we continue our talk on Kamma. I said these are the conditions to fulfill Kammas, 5 conditions. They work for both sides, wholesome side and unwholesome side. And it is very powerful practice. Come invisible and yet powerful. It is not mystic. It is not uh, something that beyond our life. This is our life. We live following the Dhamma, and we want to see Kamma according to Dhamma. Now,
To show the intricacies of Kamma, Buddha gave very meaningful simile. In Majjhima Nikaya, in Kamma Vibhanga Sutta. There are two suttas, Chula Kamma Vibhanga and Kamma Vibhanga Sutta. In that discourse, I give you the summary. Buddha said, if there is an individual who has practiced meditation and attained jhanas, the fourth jhana, and when one attains the fourth jhana, then the person has options. One is to use that jhana to develop insight, vipassana, to overcome influxes, asava. That is called asava jnana. The second is to develop various super normal powers. Suppose somebody practice jhana and develop the supernormal power, and that person can see with this supernormal power, or one of which is, of course, seeing beings dying and taking rebirth according to that person's karma. Now, this person who has attained jhanas and developed this knowledge of seeing, being, dying, and taking rebirth, may see somebody who lived a very unhealthy, unethical, immoral life. Most of his life, he committed all wrong things, unwholesome karmas. When he passes away, this person who has seen, who has this vision, who can see somebody passing away and taking rebirth, that person sees the one who committed unwholesome karmas after death taking rebirth in a happy place. Happy place. Being very happy. Then he would conclude, well, no matter what you do, after death, you will be reborn in a happy place. I have seen this with my own supernatural eyes, and this is the truth. If anybody else says anything else, that person is wrong. So this person says that I have seen it with my own supernatural eyes, and this is the truth. When this was brought to the Buddha said, well, if he says that he has seen somebody committing unwholesome karma and all unwholesome things, and after that he was reborn in a happy state, I grant him that. But if he says that is the truth, if somebody says anything else, that is false. I do not agree with that. Remember these four, I'm going to give you 4 cases. This is case number 1. You remember that. Hypothetical cases 4. This is first one. Second is the same one or another person who has attained the jhanas and developed supernatural powers, being able to see somebody dying and taking rebirth in after death according to Kamma. That person would say, I have seen this person committing unwholesome karmas, and after death I saw him taking birth in woeful state of existence, painful state of existence. And that is the only truth. If anybody says anything else, that that person is wrong. Because I have seen this happening to this person, committed unwholesome things, come and born in a painful state. That is true. If anybody says anything against that, I would dispute it. He's wrong. Buddha said, well, if he says that somebody committing unwholesome karmas and born in wrong, painful state, I grant him that. But if he says, if somebody says something different from this, that person is wrong. Buddha said, I do not grant him that. I do not agree with that. This is case number 2. Third possibility is I saw somebody doing all good things. Thought, word, deeds are all very good things. Very good. But when he passed away, I saw him taking rebirth in a woeful state of existence. He did wholesome things, wonderful things, and after that he was born in wrongful place, painful state. And this is the truth. If somebody says anything else, I disagree, he is wrong, I am right. That is the third case. Fourth case is another person says, I have attained supernatural powers. With my supernatural power, with the supernatural I saw a person doing something very good. All his life he was generous, kind, and all the wholesome things that I mentioned earlier. Remember, I gave you 2 lists: wholesome punya and skillful wholesome punya kamma and skillful kamma. Now, both lists are very important to remember. And this person saw another person committing uh, wholesome punya kamma or and kusala or skillful kamma, and was reborn in a very, very happy state of existence. And that is the only truth. Everything else you says, if anybody says, is wrong. Now these are the 4 cases. Now, if this person, his case brought to the Buddha would say, yes, since he has done all good things, he was born in a happy place, I grant him that. But if the person says that is the only truth with regard to this person, the only possibility for this person, I disagree with that. I don't grant him that. Now, why is that? Okay, why one who committed unwholesome karma was born in a happy place, and or he was born in painful state, and one who committed wholesome karma was born in wrong place, painful place, and one who committed wholesome karma was born happy place. And Buddha said one of them is correct. All these 4 statements the person made, uh, Buddha said one is correct, others are wrong. Why is that? When he says that so and so committed wholesome karma and was born in painful state, and the one who has gained this knowledge says that no matter what you do, no matter how wholesome thing you do, after death you will be reborn in the wrong place, painful place. That is wrong. And that I can commit. But if he says that anybody says anything else that is wrong, I disagree with that. Why is that? The one who has committed very noble, wholesome karma deeds in this life may have at the very moment of his death, at the last moment of his death, last moment is so quick and short. During that short, quick moment, if any unwholesome thought arose in his mind, according to that he would be reborn in a wrong place. And this person who has attained jhanas and gained supernatural knowledge did not say that. So that is the Buddha's wisdom. Or the one who has committed unwholesome things all his life, when he is dead, he can be reborn in happy place. Why is that? Because in spite of all his unwholesome things, he, in the last moment of his life, from the last moment, he may remember something good he has done. Very powerful thing. And according to that, he will take rebirth in that place. And therefore, you see the power of the mind, and therefore, whenever we do something wholesome or wholesome particularly, even though we do wholesome things all our life, we must do it mindfully without having greed, hatred, and delusion. Because in spite of our very good karma, sometimes unmindfulness can sneak into our mind. When unmindfulness comes to mind when we are doing wholesome thing, then that will reduce the quality of wholesome thing. That is why punya, I say, kusala is the quality control of punya. Quality control of punya. And therefore, when we do punya kamma, we have to have mindfulness, and then becomes kusala kamma. Punya kamma becomes kusala kamma. Why? Punya karma we do to make us happy, but there may be some greed, anger, resentment, dislike, jealousy, and so on. For instance, somebody can do some good punya karma, and if he thinks, if he try to compete with somebody else, compete, okay, he became generous. He donated to an organization or somebody or animal shelter or hospital or monastery or school building and so forth and so on. He donated $1 million. I want to donate $2 million. So people will talk about me and think that I am more generous. So he want to donate. He is generous. But see the motive to beat the other person. Competition. This punya karma is not a game. So kusala intervene. Kusala interferes this person punya and say kusala, kusala karma, kusala, wholesomeness enters in my skill, enters in my, and say no. If you want to donate $2 million, you donate it even without mentioning your name. You don't let your right hand know what the left hand does. Anonymously you donate. Nobody knows. You don't need your name, no what you call sign on the school, your name there, or not your name, nobody knows. Perhaps only the bank, if you have money in the bank, and bank knows where the money went, who gave the money. That is on the between the bank, you and the recipients. And tell the recipients, please keep this secret, anonymous. If you want to declare to the government for income tax purposes, you mention we receive such and such. That is on your part, when you file your income tax, you mention your income, not the person who gave the income. And when you file your income tax, you donate $2 million. You file, I donated $2 million to such and such organization. Only the government, the bank, you, the recipients know your donation. But never think of competing with never think of letting the world know, or broadcasting through the media, or even your friend, relative. Don't let anybody know. And that way, if you do this, then your punya kamma, you donated this $2 million for your pleasure, your happiness, your generosity. And you are so uh, happy that children learn, or hospital patients get well. For instance, now this is in corona situation. There are many people suffer. So people who have money, they donate without letting anybody know. Anonymously donate. Anonymously donate. And that way, your punya turns into kusala. Why is that? Your intention became pure and clean. No ulterior motive, no publicity, not to boost your ego. You do it in a very pure, clean heart. So, punya, I gave the two lists, punya and kusala. Punya is the thing that you do to make yourself happy. Kusala is the thing that you make you that help you to remove your greed, hatred, and delusion. Same thing in the punya list you can do with kusala chitta, skillful thought. Kusala means skill. When you do it with skillful thought, even the punya becomes kusala. Punya brings you very happy life. But underneath, what do you have is desire. Why desire is there? Because ignorance is there. Where there is desire, ignorance is there, definitely. So you don't know that because of desire, you will continue to have your suffering in any way. So long as desire is there, suffering is there. That is the dependent origination law. But when there is no desire, no suffering. So your intention of giving something is to reduce and get rid of a desire. And that we have to do mindfully. So skill enters and remind the mind to be mindful, to reduce your competitive attitude, uh, to get publicity and so forth. All you can see how wonderful it is, the way how we do Kamma skillfully or unskillfully, to enjoy pleasure or to get rid of desire. Enjoy pleasure, confuse ourselves. This is called in Pali Vanchanika Dhamma. Vanchanika means deceptive Dhamma. Deceptive Dhamma. Our intention is to give something, but underneath the intention, there is this anusaya. Remember, anusaya I mentioned earlier, anusaya means underlying tendency. In this intention of pleasure, of giving, what do we have? Desire as anusaya. Anusaya is underlying tendency, anusaya, sleeping, inactive, dormant state of mind, which is not skillful. And therefore, we can see the intricacy of karma. It is so delicate, and that is why Buddha always remind us to be mindful, and have a mindful reflection, yoniso manasikara. I mentioned the word yoniso manasikara. Yoni means the origin, source, beginning. Manasikara is keeping in the mind. Keeping whenever we do something, keeping in the mind the source of or origin of our intention. Origin. So, if we are not mindful, if we do not have mindful reflection, yoniso manasikara, if we do not know the root, yoni, beginning, and we blindly may do something without seeing the uh, negative implications of certain mental state, we can be generous and give. So, good intention itself is not enough. I think in English they may be saying good intention is bad to hell. With the good intention, there must be wisdom. That comes from mindful reflection. That, that is the skill. That is why it is called skill. So when we are skillful with the good intention, perform meritorious deeds, making generous support or donations to individuals. Sometimes, if I receive a pair of shoes or slippers, and when I walk, you ask me, "Are you wearing the pair of shoes I gave you?" If I say no, I put it away because I have another pair, I can use it. You will be disappointed. Why? You want to see me wearing the shoes you gave me. That would that your giving is very generous, very kind, very compassionate. That's okay. But at the same time, thinking that he must use this one, he should not use old ones. Thinking that I should not use old one, maybe out of compassion, but your idea is the purpose is to see that I'm wearing what you gave. If I gave it to somebody else, I would tell him, well, I have another pair I gave to somebody else. He would not be happy because his intention is to see me wearing that. That is how it is so, complicated. That is how we have to look at our mind to see our motive, make it pure and clean. I give, when people have, especially when it comes to giving, they always have very, very many reasons. I don't want to give so and so 1 penny because he takes my money and take drugs. I remember sometimes people say, I don't want to pay income tax. Why? Government take this money and go using it for fighting, killing, for wars, making weapons, and so forth. Therefore, I don't want to pay tax. Now, this person does not know, does not think the government is not only making guns and weapons, government does some other things as well. And we don't know whether it is going, your own dollar goes to, oh, you don't know. So they say, I don't know to pay tax because the government does. So this is how ignorance comes up with all kind of excuses. So practicing generosity, friend, is practicing committing wholesome karma is a very wonderful thing. And that is why we have to meditate, clean our mind, get our action right, correct, and do it very skillfully so that we definitely will bear the fruit of our good karma. I will talk more about karma. There are so many things to say about karma, but what I mentioned are not my own things. These are all coming from the Buddha's own teaching. Uh, Unfortunately, I cannot use Pali to save time. I just say all this in English to save time and to make it easy for people to understand. With these friends, once again, I like to, in the first place, want to wish all those who are suffering, all those who have been helping them to relieve them from suffering, and various institutions, various places, various persons do their best. I can see sometimes in some places the death rate is going down. I think all these things that all of us doing together seem to be working. So I want to wish great success in that area and wish all of you be peaceful, happy, and free from suffering and liberate from samsara, attain everlasting peace called Nibbana. With this, I want to end this session and thank you for participating in this, and I wish you continue your practice. Okay.
Okay.